how can I correctly manage the inventory? I mean, I don't want to go out of stock. So is there any trick there?
Yeah, there are tricks actually. There are a few tricks in the book. So how to manage inventory. And the idea is to not go out of stock, one of the ideas, but it's not the only idea. The other idea is to be efficient with your cash flow. I have another video here on the channel with Orion Avidan. She's from Israel here. She's an expert in balancing inventory. I'll have to remember to leave all these videos, but I'll remember. So there's going to be a video in the description. She's an expert. I'm not an expert in that. I'm a seller. I have some expertise, but she actually does that for a living with bigger companies. And in this video, she explains the idea of having good cash flow cycle. I'll explain. Let's say, and we're going to get to the working with inventory as well. There's some software for that, but let's say, and that's going to be impossible for newer sellers, in my opinion. But let's say a big company, what they can do, they can have a positive cash flow. What does that mean? They can, because usually it's bigger companies, when they have already trusted suppliers, they can say, we will pay you 30 days after our products have started selling. They don't even pay for the inventory until it pays for itself. But if you come to China and say, hey, you know what, guys, here are my terms. I want you to create 500 mugs for me with a dog face on them, and I want to pay for them 30 days after it arrives to Amazon. I don't think, either if you're an expert in human communication, maybe, and you have some credibility, maybe, but probably not. So, but I'm just trying to explain that there is such an option. And each time we get closer to that option, it's better. So the shorter, or how to say, the more positive we can make our cash flow cycle from negative. Negative means we pay today and get money in the future, the better. So that's just to understand the cash flow cycle, because it will be easier to work with inventory. But let's say you're working on the normal terms, which most of the sellers that begin with work with, which is like 30% before starting the production, 70% after we finish, and before shipping. Then you pay the freight forwarder, which takes these products and ships them. By the way, you can negotiate with all of them. You can negotiate with the freight forwarder to pay 50% off, let's say, when they take the product, and 50% off when it gets to Amazon, let's say. Okay, you can try to do that. And again, it's relationships. If you're the first time coming, you can come with recommendations. If, let's say, I tell my friend freight forwarder, Lucia is coming, she wants to be a seller and she's like serious about that, they might consider, because you know what I mean? Like they sort of know that I know you. So use your connections as well for any sort of business endeavor you do. But that's one. Another thing is, let's say okay, let's take that aside. Just, I think hopefully that was a bit clear about the cash flow. But the other thing is the inventory itself. Like, how do I know when to order more? How do I know that? So let's say you are selling kitchen scissors and you're selling 10 units a day, and it takes you 30 days to produce them, 40 days to ship them from China in a ship, right? So you're cost efficient, let's say. So it's 70 days plus 10 days to, like some problem, something for products to get inside Amazon, to get to the, let's say 80 days. That's the time it takes you from when you start producing to when you start selling. So imagine this, you've ordered 500 units of these kitchen scissors. That was my first order, by the way. And that's why we went out of stock with the 500 scissors. We started selling, I'll tell you, that's my story. And let's say you get to 10 units a day. You do some promos, you catch up with the sales organically plus PPC. Suddenly you're selling, let's say, 10 units a day. That means that after about 50 days, you will run out of stock. And it takes 80 days for you to produce the product. Okay, you're in trouble already. So what you can do there is, again, use the air shipping sometimes, or just be efficient with your logistics. Now, how you can do that? Like, you have many products, you have even one product. When do I order that? Well, you have some software, such as in Helium 10 and Jungle Scout and Sellerboard, which we're also using, all the links in the description, to actually input your product creation time, shipping time, all this thing inside the program. It will calculate your inventory inside Amazon, and it will tell you exactly, based on data that it counts that you put in, when you need to order the stock. But also you need to use there was also a guest, her name was Hiba Weber from Seller Mobile. She said you have to use your entrepreneurial, instinct to understand, okay, the program maybe can understand. You can actually input that inside the program to explain it that Christmas is coming soon and we need more, but you will have to do this. And again, I'm speaking as a seller, not of, there's some sellers that are much bigger. Let's say my expertise on Amazon, we've sold since we started in sales over $1,100,000. I don't remember exactly. So that's my experience. There is experience, but there's sellers who do that in a month or in a day. Yeah. So they probably know better. So also good to add here to ask more people, like hopefully listen to me and get some value. And I really appreciate that, but also ask more people, get inside groups, ask this more. But software you can use, such as again, Helium 10, Jungle Scout, Sellerboard, Seller Mobile, whatnot. I believe who else has these inventory things? Many different softwares have it. I think Seller Tools have it. Does that answer the question pretty much? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can see that with the days. I mean, if when your product goes live, you will see how much does it sell.
How many units
that
are
way
sold.
You will have an idea when to order more.
Yes, exactly. And that's why starting with low stock, it's okay, but you need to be aware of that. If your product creation time is long and you have opportunity for higher sales, and that opportunity we can count by doing product research, seeing what the top guys doing, and then see what the lower guys are doing. Those who just entered the niche, smaller sellers with 5, 10, 3, 11, 20, 30 reviews, the newcomers, maybe they're doing like 300 sales. This one is doing 200, 100, 500. You can see opportunity to catch a place there. And then you will actually be able to order inventory based on that. So and then with the software, you can calculate it better, but also you need to understand the theory of this. And for this, there's a good book called the book by Eliyahu Goldratt, which is called The Goal. I remember now. The Goal book from 1986 explains this theory. So I would recommend you, Lucia, and our listeners to purchase this book. It's a good book to understand how the product's business works and how to lower down that production time as well, but also the cash flow cycle and make it more positive, because then life gets easier. It's harder on the negative cash flow. Yeah, you need money to invest and have high return investments on products, because if your ROI is higher and you're selling, you might get the money faster to order more inventory without you having to fund it with the loans or whatever. And I still take loans from time to time, because sometimes, we'll launch new products here. This product needs but mostly I try not to. Plus I have another business which I run through YouTube, like affiliate marketing and other things. It helps me as well. So that's what I have to say about this.
Yeah, but sometimes maybe it's necessary, and that's good.
Sometimes it's necessary, it seems. But it's fine. Again, as long as the loan is calculated and you know and you have some sort of plan for this, so then it's fine. But again, I'm speaking as a seller of a lower mid-size. Like larger companies might take $1 million today to invest it tomorrow. Like I still haven't played with these numbers. This is very scary for me, to be honest, still. But we just step by step, right?